Hello ladies and gentlemen, today it's Dublin, and what a beautiful city this is. We're going to find out best place to get some breakfast, best place to get a drink, and of course see and enjoy all things cultural and historical.
We'll explore the vibrant city, see the Dublin Castle, the famous Trinity College, see the incredible spire of Dublin that is 120 meters tall, and of course visit the oldest pub in Ireland, the Brazen Head, which dates back all the way to 1198. We will also show you our favorite place to eat.
Dublin is pretty incredible, but what makes it even better is a nice cup of cortado. You can really enjoy the city with coffee.
And our first impressions of what Guinness really tastes like.
Dublin is almost like the capital of pubs. Many moons ago when we went to France, I had this weird dream to have Bordeaux in Bordeaux and Cognac in Cognac, which on the hindsight is a little bit silly, but there is no other place where I wanted to have a pint of Guinness than in Dublin. Honestly, it tastes completely different than in any other countries that I've tried it in. It's absolutely incredible. It's almost like a separate drink altogether.
The famous stout is produced locally and its flavor is second to none. It was introduced in 1759. It originated in the brewery of Arthur Guinness 263 years ago. Dublin is the capital city of Ireland. If you are visiting the place, the airport is very close to the city, and if you are here for a city break, you really don't need to drive. The city is very compact and everything is in a very close and comfortable walking distance. Trams and buses are definitely an option, but to be honest, we were pretty happy on foot. This would be the life I chose to lead, and I'm ready to go home.
Visiting any country would leave you with certain quirks, certain unexpected bits and pieces, but one quirk that we've noticed about Ireland was pretty much straight outside the airport. Now this would be a very useful advice to all of those wonderful people choosing to take a bus to go to Dublin. Now apparently in most countries, if you pay by cash, they take the cash or even cards, whereas in Ireland you could only pay by coins in the bus, which is really bizarre, but hey ho, different countries, different rules. So the only way to do it for you is either you have coins with you, or you go to the shop and buy the ticket there. It's a little bit convoluted, a little bit quirky, but I guess it adds to the flavor of the country. And the funny thing is, when I spoke to some people, say, hey, look, that bus, I couldn't get a ticket there. I said, did you have coins? No. And they looked at me thinking like, that's normal. So I guess normal things could be defined by different countries differently as well. So there we go, one of the tips, one of the quirks of the country.
This is OConnell Street, the wide central part of the city. This street has a very modern, cosmopolitan feel, with wide pavements and stately architecture. Many years ago, this street was very narrow, but it was widened in the 18th century, which makes it look very modern to this day. Many cities across Europe were modernized in the 18th century, which created a very open promenade feel to the central part of the cities. Some love it, some don't, Personally, I love the variety, but wide streets like this will always have a nostalgic feel for me, as they remind me of Paris, of St. Petersburg and Krasny Prospect of Novosibirsk. This is the Spire of Dublin, alternatively titled as a Monument of Light. When you're up close to it, you can't see it in its entirety. Its modern grandeur cannot be compared to anything else. Like a beam of light, it shines when the weather is sunny, and even in my sunglasses I couldn't fully marvel the grandeur of this modern piece of art. Its construction started in 2003, so it's pretty modern. This was our route to see more amazing architecture and beautiful gardens, but before that we needed to have a coffee and a schnack. Just like most capital cities, Dublin offers a wide and vibrant variety of places to eat. However, we focused on what we love and found an incredible place to have a breakfast together with a cup of coffee. We certainly were impressed with how tasty the food was and how welcoming the staff were as well. Only a few minutes' walk brought us to the Dublin Castle, the castle which is very unique and has a very interesting feel about it. The castle was built in 13th century. It was a large military fortress which encompassed treasury, courts and a prison. However, most of the current construction you see now dates back to the 18th century. Personally, I love that period of architecture in larger cities because it has a flamboyance of Renaissance and somehow something about the size and proportion that makes it feel distinctly modern. In fact, it feels more modern than modern because it will never be outdated. Those are the Dublin Gardens. They were created in 1680. Again, something about the proportion and the size that make it so relatable and welcoming. There are smaller memorial gardens around it, which are incredibly beautiful. I love how different styles of architecture and different colors combined make it so vibrant.
Sure how it started or how these came about. You stirred something in me.
Our next destination is the area where you can see many historical pubs. The atmosphere here is simply electric.
I get lost in your eyes, and when you hold me, nothing can control me. I get lost in you. Do you feel it too? I get so lost in you. Only you will do. Trying to fight the feelings from racing through my veins, but every time I try, the outcome is the same. Butterflies, I get lost in your eyes, and when you hold me, nothing can control me. I get lost in you. Can you feel it too? I get so lost in you. Only you will do.
Wandering the streets of Dublin, one simply can't ignore the Temple Bar. The place is incredible. the live music, which you could hear now. People who perform there are so talented, it's incredible. And this is the place where for the first time I've tried real Guinness in Ireland, and my God, did it taste like something else. It was so incredibly tasty. But Guinness has its lesser recognized sisters, so to speak, one of them being Beamish, really tasty beer. So yeah, thoroughly recommend a visit to the Temple Bar, probably one of the most places in Dublin when it comes to pubs.
And this pub is very special. This is the Temple Bar pub, famous for having 150 of different kinds of rare whiskies, which is Ireland's largest collection of whiskies. It is also famous for the live music scene, and this is a place where Guinness Book of Record for playing guitar was set here by David Brown of Ireland when he played for 114 hours, 6 minutes and 30 seconds from 12th to 17th of June in 2011. Now that's quite a lot of playing. Our next pub to visit is the Brazen Head, the oldest pub in Ireland, which dates back to 1198. Usually I'm more of a cafe than a pub person, but those pubs have certainly made me feel so welcome, and the atmosphere there is very, very friendly. We had a number of people talking to us, and it was very, very pleasant.
Dublin is almost like capital of pubs. That's my first impression, and a separate token to Uncle Leo. Uncle Leo, you wouldn't believe the amount of pubs which have police department labels, or I don't know how you call them, like you put them on the uniform. And right in front of me there's another wall of all the police labels from all over the world, because people bring them for some reason. Now I've asked the bar lady why do they do it. She says, I have no clue, but it just looks pretty incredible. So if you look right there, you'll see that the wall is full of different police department tags, if you will. So yeah, it's pretty incredible. The other quite interesting observation that I had about Dublin, that I heard a lot of American people in the street, and I've asked the bar lady why you get so many American people locally, and she said that a lot of American people come over to look for their Irish roots, and in this pub you could see dollars sellotaped to pillars, sellotaped to the ceiling, and sellotaped all everywhere, and it's almost like it's almost like America's got this incredible connection with Ireland, where people are coming over, coming back to find their roots. I think it's incredible.
And after drinks comes a cup of coffee, but not just any coffee. This is Irish coffee. It is a unique blend of coffee and whiskey, where my love for coffee meets my love for whiskey. The recipe is about 100 years old, and it was popularized in Viennese coffee houses of Austria. From our miniature pub crawl, we went around the city to enjoy a more modern part of it. I tend to say it, but we were so lucky with the weather. It seems that it was only raining when we were indoors. James Joyce is author of Ulysses, and he lived in Dublin. Ulysses is an incredible book, which, to be honest, I didn't read, which is a shame because now it's in my queue of books to read. But from what I gather from people who did read this book is that it's like a literary Marmite. You either love it or you either don't. I love masterpieces which are like that. Dublin is the city where all the action in the book is taking place. In the evening, we went to see the Trinity College. Queen Elizabeth I founded the college in 1592. It was modelled after universities of Oxford and Cambridge. It is here that the Book of Kells is kept. Book of Kells is a medieval manuscript famous for the intricacy of its ornate illustrations. This concludes our visit to Dublin, so please like, share and subscribe to my channel to see more incredible places around the globe. And you can also visit my website when you can read blogs about the places we visited too. Please go to MikeBogatyrev.culturetravel.com to learn more. And I would also like to say a personal thank you to Pete, Peter and Desmond of Goodnight Vincent Band and Sophie Henderson for their beautiful music which I used for this piece. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye.